this your first time here, I want to welcome you in. And if you are returning, I want to say welcome back. It's your girl, Miss Ray, and I'm going to let a few people get in the room. I know they sending out the notifications before we get started, but I want to talk to y'all today about doing this one thing to become more powerful in your everyday living, in your walk with God. Just practice this one thing every day. I want to challenge y'all as I'm challenging myself as I continue to grow in this area. I want to help you guys enter into this space of, I can't even explain it, but I'm gonna let y'all come on in the room, and we about to get started. Thank you so much for tuning in, y'all, too. But I'll go over first what's been taking place. I miss y'all. Hey. So I want to talk about this reflection that I've been in, a state of reflection. I do this every single year when it's time for my birthday. So as some of y'all know, my birthday coming up. And every single year, sometime within the month, I start reflecting. And I reflect on the year that previously passed, like this whole year of me being this age. And then what I do is I also take a note and see what would I like to do different, or what would I like to see in the upcoming year, right? I say all of that to say this. Me doing this reflection, it was such a deeper reflection this year. I don't know, but I started thinking about overall, like all of the years. And I was like, what was like my favorite childhood memory? And y'all, my favorite childhood, it wasn't my favorite, but it was like one that I could really remember that was just, I had so much fun this night, okay? So this night we was able to stay outside past the street lights, okay? Y'all know y'all got to be in when the street lights come on back in the day. Thank you. No, thank you though. So, we had to be in when the street lights came on. But hey, this one particular night, we was able to stay outside all night long. Hey. And so while we was outside, we had adults out here that particular night. So we had adults out there watching us and stuff. We was able to run into the street. We was racing each other up and down in the middle of the street. You know, you can't play in the street when you're little. And we were able to, no, we were able to play games, hopscotch, double dutch, you name it. All the neighborhood kids outside. It was just really like a memorable moment. I'll put it that way. It was very memorable. And I wanted to, I say that to say this. I want to challenge y'all also to think about a time when you were a child that's very memorable, that was very uplifting. Like that moment when I was thinking about it, it did something to me. Thank you. It did something to my heart. It made me feel like this level of wow, because when you are in a child as a child, you don't have responsibilities. Thank you. You don't have responsibilities. You don't have any obligations. You're just free to be you. You free to run wild and just live life with no obligations whatsoever. Ain't no other way to say that. So I say this. I want to go to this scripture that I was led to after the fact. Hey. So I was led to this scripture after I did my reflection, and I was thinking about, that childhood memory and the place that it had me in that moment, right? Hold on one second. So the place that I was in that moment, and I wanted to reflect on it, and then somehow I was led to this scripture, and I wasn't looking for it, wasn't even expecting it, okay? But thank you. So it says here, Matthew chapter 18, and we're going to start at verse 1, okay? And it says, at that time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Now, we all know that the kingdom of heaven is right here. It's in your mind, right? The kingdom of heaven is within. And you can access the kingdom of heaven as well. So it says, verse 2, he called, hold on one second, hey. He called a little child to him and placed the child among them. And he said, truly, I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. So me having that reflection and then me turning around and seeing this scripture that if you do not become like children, you won't enter into the kingdom of heaven. Being like a child is having innocence about yourself, being pure from the heart, and being carefree, not living in a state of regrets and frustrations and obligations and things of that sort, right? And so it says, therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Hey, it's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. You can become powerful just by entering into a childlike state. Like entering into that pure form within yourself and becoming like a child to enter into the kingdom of heaven, which is here, your highest form. That love, the pure love, when you're walking in love, it's nothing greater than love. That's like the highest vibration, the highest point. And whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. Put yourself in a position where you think about that space where you was a child and you had the most memorable moment or one of your most memorable moments. And think about how it made you feel. Reflect on the type of experience that you had. Like really get into the moment and think about that space. And think about what it did to you. And then you have to find ways in your life today to recreate that moment. Life can weigh us down. Bills can get you frustrated. Tomorrow can make you worry. Hey, how are you? Hey, cousin. Tomorrow can make you worry. We can have fear, anxiety. We can think about the past. But if we're going to think about the past, at least let's think about that good childhood memory that had us in high vibrations, on a high level frequency, that kept us in that childlike state. What can keep your vibration just so high? It's there right here. Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. I'm good. How you doing? Thank you. And when you're in that childlike state, you just let everything go. Is it easy to get there? We could think about it right now and be like, yeah, but then you get back into that moment where you like, okay, back to reality, back to life, back to reality. But if you try to stay in that space, how do you stay in that space? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to let go of all the baggage that you carry. Let go of all baggage. You got to learn how to forgive yourself. If you have forgiven other people for things that they have done to you, now it's time for you to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for misusing your body by holding on to resentment, pain, frustration, anger. We embody all of these different emotions that we really don't let go of. Although we say we've forgiven other people, we haven't really forgiven ourselves. And even if that means you got to go back in time and think about all of the different things that hurt you. Even when people hurt you, you got to forgive yourself for having the ill intentions and thoughts of things that you coulda, woulda, and shoulda did to them. I'm telling you. And put yourself in that space of, I got to float lighter. I can't carry it no more. You weighing yourself down, carrying the baggage from what others did to you. And I know it's hard because sometimes we could be like, but I ain't did nothing. But it's the thought that you had to carry of why they did this, of why things had to happen a certain way. Finding a different outlook on why it happened, a more positive one, right? Just to put you in that childlike space so that you can float with less density. You can be lighter, freer, so that you can enter into this childlike space on a regular basis. I was even thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? How can I, it's one thing to protect your inner child, but then it's another thing to nurture your inner child. And you have to think about it as if you are a parent to your inner child. What would you do? You're going to feed it, which is feeding the soul. Feed your soul, the real soul food. Feed that inner child and nurture it with the right things that you feel you should have learned along the way that you didn't. Give it to yourself. You owe it to you. It's the right things that you felt like you should have learned and teach yourself. Don't continue to hold yourself back just because you didn't know something or you wasn't taught something. It's your time. The love that we want other people to give us, now is your time to give it to your inner child. Protect your inner child. Nurture your inner child. Cater to your inner child. I was just thinking to myself, and I had a discussion with somebody about it. It was so beautiful. I said, I don't celebrate Christmas. I didn't celebrate Christmas, right? Because I feel like you reward children off of good behavior. You don't have to wait for one day of the year. You reward them throughout the year. And I believe that children like surprises throughout the year more so than that one day. I mean, yeah, they do want to open up gifts and all of that too. But having grandchildren, they kind of put me back in that space like, no, we want a tree. I still want to see a tree. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the boundaries we will break for the grands, okay? Boy, if anybody else can't make me break a boundary, whew. Okay, but anyway. So I was thinking to myself, and I'm like, you know what? I need to nurture my inner child. What are some things as a child that you may have wanted for Christmas? And it was just something you never really got, right? You got everything else. But it was something that you didn't get as a child that you just like, man, I owe it to myself, but no, I'm too big. No, I don't. Don't ever feel like you too big to give yourself exactly what you wanted. And to cater to your inner child. Like, you gotta fill that void for yourself. Don't expect other people and hold that in about what you didn't receive. And so I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I wanted a doll house. I wanted a doll house. I wanted to put the little furniture in there and decorate and play with the little Barbies and stuff as a kid. And so I was like, you know what? I should give myself a dollhouse. And I was like, that is so childish of me, but I love it, okay? Y'all know me already. I color. I'm going to tap into my inner child, and I'm going to play with my inner child, all of that, okay? And I advise y'all to do the same, to enter into that childlike space so that you can get to that highest, most powerful form of yourself. That's the whole reason I'm saying this. But I seen they had adult doll houses online, right? And I was like, oh, I gotta get me one. Oh, I'm gonna get me one. You know, as a kid, you wanted the one that was like the same size as you, that's just as tall. Well, me, you know, for the women, not for the men. But you want one that's the same size as you, and you can just walk up to it and play with it and everything, you know. But gift yourself that now. And then I said, you know what? It's more than just that. What if I gave myself an experience where we as parents, we spend so much time for Christmas, and we try to take care of everybody else. But we don't really think about ourselves during that time. As parents, we enjoy seeing the glow on our children's faces. But have you ever really taken the time out to want to see the joy on your own face? When you invested in yourself and got the things that you really wanted, wrapped it up, put it under the tree, and got under that tree on Christmas morning and just opened it up like you was that inner child, and you was so surprised, and you got exactly what you wanted. That's just a little tip into my reflection for this year, because I'll tell you that part in a minute. But that's just a little tip into my reflection for this year of how I wanted to cater to that inner child, how I wanted to nurture my inner child. And it's not so much about just the dollhouse, but just treating yourself, taking care of you. Y'all are so powerful, and y'all don't realize it. And y'all take so much strength into making sure that everybody else is good. But baby, you gotta take the time out to make sure you, above all things, are good first. You gotta make sure that you're in a place where you are equally as happy as the smiles you want to see on other people's face. Get down there like a kid with your kids at Christmas and just rip them packages open. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to take the time to wrap them up, rip them open, and surprise your own inner child. These are healing techniques to help you cater and nurture to your inner child and develop yourself in the ways that you felt you didn't get developed. No matter what level it is you felt like it on. If it's you wanting to get out there and ride a bike, ride a bike. Gift yourself a bike and put a bow on it and ride it. If you ever wanted to go on a specific vacation somewhere and enjoy yourself, and you felt like you never got to go on that vacation, give it to yourself. It's time for you to be the parent of your own inner child and protect it. You can't expect other people to love you past the level of love that you're giving yourself. So if you're giving yourself this love and all of these things that you want other people to do, can't nobody else satisfy you the way you can, the way God can. What they say about joy, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it from me. Ain't that what they say? This joy I have, the world didn't give it, and the world ain't gonna take it from you. So give that joy to yourself. Practice those habits with yourself. Even if it's you, not just waiting until Christmas. You ain't got to do that. Do something right now. Take the time out right now and schedule yourself time to play a board game. Even if you got children, that's even better. You know what I'm saying? That'll give you an excuse, okay, to tap into your inner child. Or grab somebody else's kid. I don't know, but play a board game or play your favorite childhood card game, you know? Um, just get into that space where you are catering to you for once. Starting from there. And as you start from there on what you used to like from a child, now you can heal yourself and give yourself what you need and what you wanted on a teenage level, on a young adult level. This is how you get to explore yourself. You get to learn yourself. You get to know what you like and you don't like. The only way you can do this is by spending time with yourself. If you always running and on the go or gotta have something playing in the background or the TV running, you never really get to sit with yourself and reflect. Because when you consciously reflect, now you're setting the intention to reflect on those positive moments, not just the negative ones that can overtake your mind all day, every day, but those positive ones. So as I said before, it was like, every year this time when my birthday coming up, I always take the time to reflect. And before, years ago, I used to just beat myself. Oh my goodness, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not. And I realized, like, no, wait. You are where you're supposed to be. And it's about who you want to become over this next year. So I started practicing it that way, and it became more abundant to me. Because when you think about and reflect on what you did and what you accomplished and who you became over that last year, you can see your accomplishments. You can see the things, when we want people to validate us or to see us or approve us for things, you see it for yourself now. You can see the strides that you made for yourself along the way because you're paying attention to yourself. It's like dating yourself. You are actually showing you some attention. The same thing people want from other people. The same reason that people who lash out and they act like adult children when they throw temper tantrums, it's for this very reason right here. Because we all want to be loved. We all want to be shown attention. But the best way to do it to you in the adult form is to give it to yourself. Show it to yourself. And as you begin to show yourself, it's going to naturally, exude on the outside of you. It's going because you working on it from within, and it's going to show on the outside, right? And then you'll be able to change your conversation from people did me wrong or people misused me to know I have boundaries. And anything that I have done for people was because I did it out of the kindness of my heart. That was something I wanted to do, not because people did a certain way. You start having self-worth, self-love, self-respect, right? You can't expect other people to respect you if you don't respect you. But it starts with entering into that childlike space. It starts with you going back, go way back, like we always do about this time, right? Go back to the basics, to the beginning, to the root of it. And really think about that nostalgic period in your life when you was a child that was just so memorable. That made you feel good on the inside. It warmed your heart. You lit up just thinking about it. Think on that. Reflect on that. And bring that type of energy, that feeling, that experience into your space every single day. And I promise you, You become way more powerful, when you're trying to manifest, when you're trying to attract things to you, because you're not carrying the baggage and the weight of the world that adulthood has given you. Even though you may have those situations, and even though things may come up along the way, because that's just life, that's what happens. But learning to not let it affect you, because you're detaching from that, the matrix, right? And entering into that childlike space where it just don't bother you. It don't matter. Life still gonna go on. Tomorrow still gonna take care of itself. It helps you get to peace a whole lot faster. Yes. It helps you get to joy a whole lot faster. So cater to your inner child. Cater to being in that space where you're not stressed, you're not worried, you're not complaining, you're not angry, you're not dealing with the adult issues of life, but you're tapping into the child energy. Hey, you're tapping into that child energy where you're free as a bird, free as a butterfly. Butterflies float, you know what I'm saying? They so light, but they go so high up. They're not carrying baggage. They're not carrying weight. When a butterfly becomes a butterfly, it changes its whole form. When it's a caterpillar, it's weighted. It's like a little fat, little chunky thing, right? Little chunky. And it's on the ground, and then it can't move. It's moving kind of slow probably, you know what I'm saying? But it's not going up in the air. It's stuck to its environment. But when you begin to change form, you'll begin to change your environment. So you got to start off by changing the form that you are operating in, by changing your mind, changing your thoughts, changing your habits every single day. Waking up every day, making a decision to put you first. No matter how much you want to put everybody else first, that is fine, well, and dandy. You are here to help others. But if you don't help yourself first, I'm quite sure it was somebody else that will come along to be able to help them. So make sure you help you first. Put you first. Let me try to explain this to you the best way I can. You want to change your aura. We are spirit beings. We have a soul and we live in our body, right? Your spirit, your soul, it's exuding from you. The colors is exuding from you. When Joseph had the coat of many colors, that was like a coat of auras, but it was the purple represented royalty, which is the crown, the highest form. That crown is the highest form right here, right? And the lowest form is the red. What is that? The sacral? It's about it. It's past the sacral. But anyway, it's like the lowest form. And that's why you see in theory, the devil shows up in red. Because it's that lowest form of you. It's that second brain that's down in your stomach. That gut feeling that you get when you knew you shouldn't have did something. That gut feeling when you like, oh, I should have went with my first mind. The higher one. Entering into that kingdom of heaven. Being the most powerful one. It's a dualistic world. And even it says that the devil wanted to imitate God. And he wanted to bring light. But his light was the lowest level light, and it wasn't the same as God's. He couldn't imitate God's. So when you operate on that highest level, and you entering into that kingdom of God, you got your royalty on, your purple, right? You into a whole nother space where it's exuding positivity. The dualistic of the society that we live in is positive and negative, the balance, right? But This might be a little bit too much for y'all. But it's like you coming from being the negative form, the lowest level, and you raising your vibration to the highest form, that positive form, that God-like state, entering into the kingdom of heaven, being less dense in your thoughts, being less negative in your thoughts, being able to be more creative in your thoughts because you're operating with clarity now. You're not confused. You're not operating in fight or flight mode. You're operating from a higher frequency. Even, frequencies heal you, right? High level frequencies heal you. Low level frequencies put you in this trance-like state where you operating like a fool out here. We all know this, right? So the focus is for you to focus so much on you and getting yourself in that place where you're exuding the royalty, that royal coat, that aura that's more godlike, right? Entering into that space where nothing matters. Everything we are connected and we are one, but yet mastering that art of detachment in order to let things go, in order to release yourself, to keep soaring high like that butterfly. I don't know about y'all, but I've never seen a butterfly convert back into a caterpillar. But I've seen a caterpillar start off at the bottom, ground level, ground zero, being that little chunky little monkey thing, fuzzy and stuff, and then it grew. It grew into a whole nother form. And it changed right before your eye, right? It changed. And then it had on a coat of many colors, different colors, right? For each different butterfly. That was just so pretty. And once they fly, it's all sky. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. So you cannot go back to where you already grew from. It's just impossible. It shouldn't even want to be in your mindset anymore, right? Y'all, when you taking care of your inner child like you are the parent, you want to make sure that you don't have people around you that's going to teach your inner child bad things that you don't want it to learn. You're going to make sure you read books that's going to elevate you and grow that inner child within you. You're going to make sure that you are really protecting, nurturing, and caring for your inner child to grow and develop in the areas where you feel you got the lack, the short end of the stick, where you feel that, your parents did the best that they can do. But the torch got passed to you when you became an adult, and it's up to you to carry it all the way. They say when you're born, you look like your parents, but when you die, you look like a result of your decisions. And so, what's the result of your decisions gonna be? Walking around with diseasement in your body and causing diseases and stuff, stress, and looking at stress, it's like being the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of all unalivers, right? Because it's heart attacks, cancer, strokes, and something else, which all are caused from stress. Why worry about the things that you can't control? That's God's business. God didn't put you here to figure that out. He put you here to live and to flourish and to be in the highest and fullest form that you can be in. Look at the flowers. The flowers don't try to figure out how they're going to eat. They bloom and they blossom because God even takes care of them. And they get into their highest form of blossoming before they go back into the ground. They get into that prettiest place, right? They don't grow a little bit and you just see the bud forever. I mean, some might get stunted, but it's rare. You're going to see them blossom like they're supposed to do, like they were put here to do. And that's your goal. You put here to blossom, not to be weighed down by the stressors of life, not to conform to the ways of the world, not to get caught up in the ways that people have you thinking and living in fear and causing fear-mongering tactics to keep you in a state of delusion. That is not demure, y'all, okay? That is not so demure. Staying in the matrix is not demure. You said, you know what I was thinking about? Out of all the billions of people, you're the only one with your fingerprint. That's right. We all are unique. It's no one else out here like you. And no matter how much people try to imitate you or copy you, can't nobody be you. You are you. And when you focus on practicing being the best you that you can be, oh my goodness. You got to know that you were sent here at a specific time for a specific reason. But if you never tap into your greatest full potential, you'll never really understand why you was put here. Hey, I miss you too. You'll never understand why you was put here until you tap into God. You focus on loving you, focus on God. It's just entering into that kingdom of heaven, being the most powerful version of yourself that you can actually be. That's what you got to focus on. That's the way that we're supposed to go in life. It's not about what other people doing, how other people viewing us. It's not about the outside factors. And when we step into looking at outside factors, we're disconnecting from God. We're disconnecting from ourselves. We are disconnecting when we're looking outward instead of focused on the inward. When we're focused on the flesh or the fleshly desires and things, the material things of the world, we lose hope and we lose sight of the most powerful thing that you possess. And that's the God-like spirit that's on the inside of you. The Spirit of God. He placed it right on the inside of you. So there's no reason to go searching outside of yourself, looking for something that you was already equipped with. Ashe. Y'all already equipped with it. You already equipped with greatness. All you got to do is tap into that realm. Tap into the kingdom of heaven. Don't get locked out of there. Don't fall down to the pits of hell. This the animal gut. You know, the animal brain. This the one that want to eat, feed the flesh. But it's also that one that's like, I told you. But when you operating here, you don't have to worry about the fight or flight. All you have to do is is just be the best version, because ain't no worrying. You already know whose you are, who you are, and you don't have no worry about things that's out of your control. You don't worry about the things that you don't have because you already have it. It's just in the spiritual world and you just have to bring it into the physical. It's all connected. We are all connected. There is no such thing as lack unless you speak it, unless you say it. But there's no such thing as lack. It should only be abundance. This is lack. This is abundance. And realizing that you are connected to everything in this earthly realm, everything in the spiritual realm. That's when you operate in your abundance. So take on that childlike form. Reflect. Let go of baggage. Let go of hurts, disappointment, anger. Even in my reflection, it's like we think we forgive people and we think that we let things go. But in that moment of reflection, when I was thinking about overall over the past, because it's like you feel weighted, right? You feel weighed down. It's like it's something. And I can't figure out what it is. You done threw it to the back of your mind and subconscious. It's like it's there, but your conscious mind ain't got a recollection of it no more. And you start asking God to show it to you and reveal it to you. And it took me to a place where I was 12 years old. And the lady called me a N-I-G-G-A. I'd rather be your N-I-G-G-A so we can get... Y'all, listen. I thought I let it go at that moment after we fought. You know what I'm saying? I was 12. She was a grown lady. She said this. I thought I let that go. But having that come back to my recollection years later, you don't really let it go subconsciously. It's still there because it hadn't been addressed and dealt with properly. It was dealt with like this, but it wasn't resolved here. And we think you have to go back to childhood things and just think about, like, you know, I had to forgive her for not understanding what she spoke out of her mouth. Let's just say we had to go to court too. But, you know, we had to go to court about that situation. She didn't know I was 12. She was 27. But, her saying that in that moment, it was a sign of her, now that I can give a different perspective to it, it was a sign of her not being healed and having a level of thinking to where she viewed somebody like this because it was probably learned behavior. But me looking at her back then, from that space, I was holding on to that from a space of, you knew exactly what you was doing. But no, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Right? That's how you had it. That's how I had to look at it. And I'm like, wow, okay. And as I forgave her, and I'm like, wow. And I let it go and released it. That baggage, that burden lightened up. It's levels to this, y'all. You don't just say, oh, I forgive you. I forgave them already and it's gone away. No. Because you even have to think about the thoughts that you had in your head toward that person, which was probably more malicious than the act in itself. You got to forgive yourself for subconsciously carrying and holding on to that. You got to forgive yourself. I wasn't experiencing bullying as a child, but I know that there's people are. You have to forgive that bully. Forgive yourself for not standing up for yourself in that moment and allowing that bully to bully you. And for understanding that, you know, wherever there's a bully, it's probably a bullying parent right behind them. It's learned behavior. You know, so if it's things in your childhood that you can reflect on, that you can correct, just to clear the baggage and get rid of all of that harbor and weigh down baggage so that you can get in a place of nostalgia when you think about your good experiences from childhood and you can let go, it'll probably resolve a lot of the adult issues that you have in your life today. Because it's changing your perspective and understanding that, hey, we're looking at adult children when they lash out and they want their way and they want to present things, but they don't know how, because this is how they've been getting away with it since childhood. So it's coming to a place of understanding, not for them, but for you, so that you can move on and transform from that caterpillar to that butterfly. So that's what I got for y'all. That's so now with my birthday coming up, now I'm taking the next steps to really focus on what I want to see more of in this year. What are some things that practices that I've done in this past year that I might want to change, in this upcoming year? And just reflect on how I can be more of a service to God and myself, you know, giving myself more self love, more self worth, more self respect, right? Getting to that like higher form, blooming and blossoming, having more experiences that keep you in that space where you're being positive and not allowing anybody in that space that's going to take you out your element, that's going to take you out of character, that's going to put you back where you was like, why am I feeling like, why they keep bothering me? You know what I'm saying? You said this is really helping you heal. Oh my gosh, God bless you. Thank God. You know, we all learn from one another. As you go through stuff, you help heal people. You help heal me. I help heal y'all as I go through stuff. The things that I've been through as well. And it's literally about changing your perspective. You gotta think about what to give me for my birthday. I don't really celebrate my birthday in that form. I do my reflection, but I appreciate you. Thank you. I don't really celebrate it though in that form where gifts and cakes and blowing out candles. That sounds too. I don't know. I ain't that type of person. I don't know. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I spend it reflecting every year, and I spend it thinking about, how can I grow? How can I grow? How can I become better? How can I flourish? Those are the things that matter, and it's nothing that material things can really offer. Everything is more spiritual. Because in my life, I've been around a lot of different people. I've been around people that had drug addictions. They gave me the most valuable lessons. The most valuable lessons. And actually, they operated more so from a childlike place. And I've been around millionaires. I've been around really wealthy people. And they had more voids where they was trying to fill them. They have more voids and they don't understand why. And it's like they chase and chase and chase. But they still have that void in them. Because it's not about the material things. And what makes it worse with a person who is wealthy, who has money, is they don't really know who loved them for them. They don't really know who is there for them. Because they feel like everybody out for their money. And it's understandable. And they won't love. But once they learn to master giving that love to themselves, then they'll master attracting, right? More so than chasing. So, yeah. It's taught me a great deal, and it helped me to realize that material things don't matter. You can have it all and still have nothing at all. Still be poor in your spirit. Still be poor in your mindset. Still lack. And still think you're missing something. And you can have nothing at all and feel like you got everything in the world. When you don't focus on the material, right? So yeah, you said I stopped counting. People have to tell me how old I am. I see a spiritual light around you. Really. I really relate with everything you're saying. Wow. That's beautiful. I'm so glad. I hope you heal and, continue on your journey and blossom to the best and fullest of your ability, your capabilities, and beyond. And allow God to put his super on your natural. Now, Lazarus, I'm 25, right? And on my birthday, I'm gonna be 25 again on the 25th. Wow, wait a minute. 25, 25, 25. I am 25. I'm gonna be 25 on the 25th. Ain't that something? Look at God. Look at God. He lined them numbers up real good, didn't he? Let me stop playing. But yeah, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad you received this message. I hope all of you received this message as well. It's helped me tremendously. And I don't know, was it about a month or two ago, y'all? When I was like, I journal in my head, but I don't really journal on paper. And that whole experience done really just skyrocketed to a whole nother level, y'all. So if you're not taking the time to journal, I suggest or I encourage you all to do so. Because journaling, it's a form of release. You're getting it out of your body. You're getting it on paper. Even with me going back and apologizing to the people that hurt me, right? All the way back from childhood, adulthood, and what have you. I just wrote a letter. Simple, quick letter. Put each person's name next to it. I didn't make it long. Just a little bit. I forgive you for this, and I also forgive myself. And I folded away from me because I don't want it no more. I folded away from me and burn it and release it. And take that deep breath because you're giving it back to the universe. You're giving it to God. You're just letting it go. No longer can you carry other people's baggage. Just like being at the airport and you wait that baggage claim for your bag to come around, but then, excuse me, you pick your bag up, but you waiting there like, oh, I see so-and-so's bag too. I see so-and-so's bag. Let me get their bag too. Let me take it off. Let them folk get their own baggage. Stop carrying other people's baggage. Get yours. You said I do through music. I do too. I love music. I think music is very healing. Even certain songs, when you listen to the words, it'll put you in that space. So you got to be careful what you listening to. Not you, but I know you probably do. But that's why it's important to be careful what you listen to, because when you listen to music, some things can cause you to elevate or become destructive. But yeah, I love music too. That is like powerful. And it can help you jumpstart your day as well, or jumpstart when you feeling that lowly place, that low place. So just remind yourself every single day, y'all. Stay in that childlike space. Nurture that child. Even if it's you disciplining that inner child within you. Make that bed up. Clean that up. Do this. You said you was gonna do this. Trusting yourself by holding yourself accountable to do the things that you said you were going to do. So you got to discipline your inner child just like you love and nurture your inner child. That's what love is, right? It's the equal balance of everything. You ain't going to let the inner child just walk all over you. But you also going to teach that child through a whole nother level. Me being a grandmother, me being a grandmother, my level of understanding and teaching my grandchildren is a whole lot different than when I was a mother or when I was parenting my own children. I parented from that age, and now I see things differently. I have a different level of understanding, and I can grandparent from a whole different perspective. And the same is with y'all. When you parent your inner child, go from the place you are today with the level of understanding that you have, where you may feel like, I didn't quite understand it the first go round when I was raising my own. But now I know what worked and what didn't work, and the ways and things that I can change when I go to parent my inner child. You said if you want my love, Jalen in Godu. Check that out. Jalen in Godu. Okay. Jalen. I ain't about to try to figure out how to say the name, but okay. You said you do music and motivational speeches for the kids as well as adults. I know that is so healing for you too, when you able to give back and help, especially helping the children. Oh my goodness, they are just so impressionable. And even, with parenting kids, you know, life kind of go by fast. You young and stuff, but then when you start teaching other kids, it's like when you take that moment to realize kids can actually teach you something. Like, you can really learn from kids. So I think that's a good thing too. Kids gonna put you in that childlike space all the time. Look, come on, let's paint. Hey, look at this. Look what I could do. If they do a silly dance, get up, go do that silly dance with them. They gonna bring you back to that space. And I believe that that's why a lot of older people, like senior citizens, they glow when they see little kids. It's like the inner child comes out of them and they get so excited. I don't know, I can't explain it, but if you ever seen an older person see a little kid, it's just, so I know that when we look at children, look at them from a perspective of, wow, they trying to pull my inner child out, instead of saying, go on somewhere, okay, go sit down, all right, or not really understanding them. Not you, but when it's generational gaps, a lot of times kids can feel like you don't understand or we can't relate to them, and it's like we gotta step into relating to them, and that also heals our inner child. That also caters and nurtures our inner child as well. But y'all, I'm about to go eat. I am hungry. I made some Swedish meatballs, so I'm about to go eat. I love y'all with the love of God. I really hope that this touched each and every one of your spirits, and I hope that you can take something from this message and just pour into yourself. Love yourself more. Show yourself more respect. Show yourself more self-worth. Your net worth is determined by the outside factors, but your self-worth can only come from within. And it's like Jim Rohn said, no matter how much work you do, when you get up every day, what do you say? You go out there, as much as you work for other people, make sure you work on yourself just as much. Okay. All right, that would be good. I would love that. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I love you all with the love of God. I had took a picture of it so I could remember it. Thank you, though. I love y'all. Until next time, let's grow.